Maybe this week there won't be a hurricane. I don't know. We just got through Hurricane Milton. We've got one big news story to talk about here on PrintFixFriday, so let's just dive right into it. Hey all, welcome back. And if it's not immediately obvious, I'm exhausted. We just spent 4 days without power, running off-grid as much as we could, putting up shutters that are made of fence, and then taking them back down, along with completely dismantling my shed, which got overnight delivery to my neighbor's yard. If you want to learn more about all of this, stay tuned because the podcast this Sunday is going to be all about Hurricane Milton and how we got through it, but stay tuned to the back half of this episode because we're going to show you a little bit of sneak peek of some footage that we took throughout the storm, as well as some of the cleanup process that occurred from it. So let's dive right into the first and really the most important fail in quite a while. Esun. Esun sent out a notice to all of their customers saying, "Dear customer, due to a website system upgrade, we have migrated your account information to the new system. In order to ensure the security of your account, we reset all login passwords, and the default password after reset is the same as your email account. Please change the default password in time after logging in to prevent data loss. We apologize for the inconvenience caused. We hope you enjoy our new website experience. We would be grateful if you could send any feedback to estore@esun.com, yada, yada, yada." If that didn't immediately raise an eyebrow, like you're wondering what The Rock is cooking, you might also be someone who comments on our security videos about Bamboo, saying there's really no problems. To be clear, having the password for an account be the same as the account is really bad. You don't want that to have happen, regardless of the fact that pretty much everybody's email at some point has been leaked in some leak, whether it was the Thingiverse leak, which we talked about here, which I think it was 4 or 5 of you actually found my personal email address and emailed me on it, which I laugh at. It's no big deal. I really don't care, but it was just one of those funny things where I challenge people and some of you figure it out. This is bad network security, and I'm not a network security expert. Even the top comments, like email the user a random temporary password and force the user to reset it next time they log in. But they did have an addendum saying, "I see from the comments my suggestion wasn't the best, but I think we agree using an email as the password is really, really bad." Yes. Absolutely. All Arms LLC says there's no need to even email a password, as that should never be done either. Set them all to random gibberish and force the user to ask for a reset. Bingo. That is absolutely one of the best ways to do it. And quite frankly, this is where we really got to have the talk about 2FA or MFA, which is two-factor authentication or multi-factor authentication. Be it using your Google Authenticator, your, chosen form of authenticator, a YubiKey or something like that, some extra form of security. And I get it, it's just a place to order Filament, but let's step back just a second and think maybe you're someone that doesn't want their entire account information being put out there on the internet. So one, immediately go change your passwords. And quite frankly, if you did it, do it again. Why not? But what if I'm a content creator who has an email that is a public email that they used to create this account, and someone tried it, and then all of a sudden they found out my home address, and now all of a sudden a company just doxed you, or you're someone that just doesn't want people to know where the heck they live, and you didn't see this email for a couple of days. Maybe you're dealing with a national disaster that put your state and others into a state of emergency, and you've been without power for potentially days, weeks, and upwards of months on end. Yeah, none of this would be great. And it's no fault of your own. This is just terrible network security. We can see that even Joel Telling commented on it saying, "I don't have an Esun account, but if you do, you should change your passwords immediately." That is the best piece of advice that you can give. We can see Positron came out and talked about this a little bit, saying cybersecurity mistakes happen, but willful negligence is worse. And that's a great way to put it here. Mistakes happen. We've seen plenty of times where companies in this industry have made errors, and I call them out. A lot of times they get fixed, sometimes they don't, reality, and eventually we move on. And while we can see that Positron carries on saying, while it has been fixed, what Esun Filament did went through many hoops and no one ever second-guessed it. That's not a mistake, it's neglect. This was a choice. Continuing saying, in every instance where Positron has handled customer data, we made it clear what the data was used for and how we handled it. When that data is no longer needed, it is deleted. We have no reason to track our users. Our biggest data collection ever was gathering interest in developing a mailing list. But since we've made it to release, we've scrubbed that list, deleted the data, it's gone, and it cannot be recovered. If someone at Esun threw a red flag up on this and they weren't listened to, that's a severe problem in your organization that should be addressed. If no one threw up a red flag on this decision, that's even a worse problem, and I would agree. We often tell the staff at 3D Musketeers, do not assume that I am right. Assume that I'm wrong, but don't just tell me I'm wrong. Bring solutions to prove to me that I'm wrong, because often when people are wrong, they're willfully negligent to the fact that they're wrong. They don't know any better. And because of that, they just keep doing the wrong things. Hi, a guy that keeps doing the wrong things, like forgetting to cover up the stuff in his background. Again, but in my defense, there's a reason for that. We'll get to it toward the end of the video. And hey, if you made it this far, leave a like, get subscribed. My name's Grant. This is PrintFixFriday. This one's a little bit different, but I do hope you enjoy it. And hey, if you are having trouble with your machines, you know, hit us up. Social media, send a YouTube video, tag us in it, all the things will help you get your printers back to printing with purpose. But this one's a stressed out Grant kind of episode, so we're just gonna roll with it. Your customers' data should be considered sacred in this digital age, and unfortunately, it's not. Especially if you handle real-life addresses and payment information. Exactly. Identifying information can be used in many nefarious ways. Yeah! You think? Again, although this has been fixed, the damage is done. You cannot undo a mistake like this. It's not a typo in a bio, it's a backdoor being opened for a period of time, and if anybody got into any of those accounts, that's it. Game over. They could have changed emails, collected data, you name it. It only takes seconds for people with nefarious intent to get what they want. Just look at the Internet Archive. And you know what? I think Positron does a really good job of summarizing most of what I could say, likely in a much more drawn-out fashion than what we just read here in this tweet. This is a pretty serious issue when it comes to like your generalized data security. And I get it. In this day and age of IoT this, IoT that, hey Google, set an alarm for 4 o'clock in the morning to remind me to subscribe to 3D Musketeers. Hey Alexa, set an alarm for 4 o'clock in the morning to remind me to subscribe to 3D Musketeers. And if you're now yelling at your phone, television, whatever it might be, yeah, data collection is a thing. We live in a world where being connected to the internet is just one of those things that we've gotten used to, but we can take slightly better steps to make sure that we don't have these issues. And hilariously, out of all the things Gen Z and Gen Alpha do wrong, what they do get right is basically segmenting their digital lives, where they have different emails for different things. The average person doesn't think about what their digital footprint looks like and how even small data breaches can actually have pretty serious long-term impacts. We gotta do something better about this, and I agree here that if nobody raised a red flag, that's a bigger problem than if someone raised a red flag and was told to basically shut up and sit down. I'm gonna pass it off to you guys. What do you think about this? Is this just a one-time blunder, it's no big deal, or is this much more serious than some people are actually taking it? I'd love to know truly detailed answers in those comments, because honestly, I've got my take on it, and I know we've got network security professionals, but we also have everyday users that may or may not care. People use throwaway email accounts all the time. 10minutemail.com exists for a reason. So some people use it for things like this, where, okay, it's not that big of a deal, I guess. But certainly, for the vast majority of people that don't want to remember 15 emails, 15 passwords, and God knows what else, this could be a bigger issue than some of you think. And so, this brings me to the aftermath of Hurricane Milton. And to do that, I have to go outside. Welcome to Hurricane Milton. It is a sprightly 3:46 a.m. We're gonna go survey some damages here. Well, you can't say the sand rail didn't try. This is where my shed used to be. I don't have a shed anymore. My shed is now in pieces. There's my garage door. That took out part of her tree. There's my, oh my God, there's my garage door spring. Holy crap. No shot, dude. Words cannot describe right now how I feel. To give you an idea, that right there is a pharmaceutical grade fume hood, or should I say was. It weighs about 400 pounds. All my tools. I bet my 10 mils are missing. And the freaking $300 Harbor Freight greenhouse. It's totally fine. I don't know if we took those panels out. I'm not certain that we did, which means those panels are somewhere over here. Table's fine. Orchids are still flowering. Oh God, I gotta go check on our boy, the pineapple. We had a pineapple growing out back. Oh man, there are so many sticks. Is the pineapple okay? That's the real question is the pineapple okay? He's okay. He's okay. Let's go. Yeah, the shed's gone. I got the front of it. It's right here. I don't know if you can see. Oh, Jesus Christ. Hello. The bird, oh, that's right. The birds are getting thrown out of the trees. The ground is so wet. I am sinking into the ground. It is so wet. This is where the solar panels used to be. Wait, did this tree fall over? I think it did. Boy, howdy, did we get lucky. This is the big oak tree that is not our oak tree. That has now fallen onto the property. We got really lucky that this is the only tree that fell. This tree is huge, by the way. Here, let me see if I can get you a better picture of that. This tree is massive. Absolutely massive tree. These poor banana trees, they didn't make it. You can just hear the frogs. We got really lucky. All right. Looks like it's starting to rain again, so I'm gonna head back inside. It is eerie, eerie, eerie. For reference, time is 4:04, time not found. We're gonna head back inside. We did survive, we are okay, but we are not without some failures. See you later. So if it wasn't immediately obvious to a lot of people, we did clearly survive Hurricane Milton. The off-grid setup worked with some problems. Oh, and that big tree fell over. So you guys have probably seen this in some of my other videos where I'm outside in the storms and all that, and this tree was up in the background, and unfortunately, it is now taking a long nap. You can see there's fence down there, there's some fence down over there. This tree is not mine, so unfortunately, there isn't much I can do about it because tree law. My neighbors, I guess, ordered one large metal shed overnight delivery because at about 1 o'clock in the morning, I get a message from my neighbor saying thanks for the shed. And well, this is what's left of my shed. And in fact, the whole area around me, we've got tons of flooding. You can see my fence is all messed up. And in fact, heck, right across the street, they had some trees go down and, well, they're tearing them down to start burning them all. But this is what's left of what was my outdoor shed. Hurricane Milton decided that it needed to belong to my neighbors and it was no longer my property. But for any of those that are in our Discord at the $10 tier and higher, yes, shameless plug, because I need a new shed. And if anyone knows a concrete printer or a 3D printing company that wants to do some really cool content to print a shed, y'all should totally hit me up. But for those wondering, the pineapple survived 110-mile-an-hour plus winds. So there's that. Just look at him. Look at how good he is. But we did survive, obviously. The off-grid setup worked okay. We had some issues with batteries dying every now and then, but we got through it. So thank you to all of you that did reach out. We had a lot of fans reach out to us, staff members that reach out to us. Thank you, all of you, for your concern and your support through what is a very muggy part of the year in Florida. But yeah, the panels worked. Between the panels and the EcoFlow alternator inverter, we were able to sustain most of the systems. We did lose some things. It is what it is. This is part about living in Florida, is that severe weather kind of happens. And I didn't know back when I was filming very similar to this that we would be talking about it so bloody soon. PrintFixFriday is really about fixing printers, and this little bit was more for me to update people that don't know yet. We are okay, obviously. We did sustain a fair bit of damage. The house is fine. The shop is fine. The shed is, well, it's in pieces. And for those wondering, yes, I can tan. And no, I don't have muscles. But what we did do via 3D printing was pretty awesome. We made a bunch of hurricane shutter tools for people all over the area. Only a few people came and picked them up, so I still have a bunch. But they're tools that go into your power drill to enable you to take down and put up shutters that utilize wing nuts. It's a very common thing to have shutters with wing nuts. Mine are pieces of fence because my house didn't come with that stuff, but new homes do. And it allows you to take down and put up your shutters in like an hour versus 3 or 4 hours. And that's the cool thing about 3D printing. We're able to do that kind of stuff. So yeah, again, thank you to all of you that did reach out for, just making sure that we were okay. If you do want to see extra behind the scenes stuff, there was tons of it posted in our Discord where I could. And we will be talking way more about the off-grid setup, what worked, what didn't, what I would do different, all this coming Sunday. So stay tuned, get subscribed if you want to hear more about that, because the plan for the next year, the next calendar year, is 30 kilowatt hours, 30 kilowatt hours worth of batteries and 10 kilowatts worth of solar panels, so that we can run the entire house and the entire shop 100% off grid. We're gonna build bigger batteries, and hey, EcoFlow, I've been giving you a lot of free press. We should chat, because I do want to do this right, but I am not against DIYing it. So let me know in those comments if you want to see something DIY'd, or if you just want to see something off the shelf. But that is all I have for you all today, especially this week. Please stay safe out there. Keep an eye on the tropics if you're anywhere in those areas, because it was a 1-2 punch with Helene and Milton. It's been rough, and I know that we got very lucky without power for 4 days, but we were able to keep most of our life support systems on. We lost some food and things, but we made it work. So please stay safe out there. Please, this week, please do not forget to call your loved ones. Please. And as always, keep making awesome. Have a good one. What the fuck is Skibbity Ohio toilet anyways? Why is that gonna get used in a fucking blooper?